guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have my very first story time, and if you watch my channel, you know that is my daughter Savannah. She's like her mommy, a little talkative, so you may hear her throughout the story. I'm trying to quiet her down, but she's a toddler and there's really not much I can do. So I'm sorry for the interruptions if you hear it. I'll edit as much as I can out, okay? So like I said, this is my very first story time, and this one is a scary one, and I want to share it with you guys. Actually, I think I never even shared this with my friends. It's not traumatic or anything, but the only person I think that knows is probably the people involved. So yeah, if you want to hear more of my story, stay tuned. So this was like about, my daughter's 2, I was pregnant for a year. So this is about 4 years ago. Comes to think of it, it feels like yesterday, and it was so scary. So anyway, I was working late around this time. I worked on Saturday and Sunday for 12 hours each day. And I would come home pretty late. My grandmother, my mom, was always worried when I come home late like that. But it was from work. But, you know, they're scared of the worst that can happen. And honestly, all my years of working late hours, I never encountered anything, thank God. But this time, I was working late. I got off for work, I believe 11. I worked in Manhattan. So it took me about an hour to come home. I remember getting off the bus. And when I got off, the bus passed me. And I seen this creepy white car just driving on this, it's a main street right now. Very slow. And when he was driving, this is what he was doing. He was making eye contact with me. I thought it was weird, but I'm like, whatever. It was an old white car. That's all I remember. And the guy was staring at me. And I didn't think of it as anything serious. So I crossed the street. And now I'm walking down this long block to get to the area where I lived. So I'm walking down the block. And I see a white car pass slowly. And this is late. This is like 12:30 at this time. So cars that are passing are going extremely fast because there's no traffic. There's really nobody walking or anything. And mind you, I got off of a main block. I'm on a side street now. I'm walking down. I see the car pass. So I was like, I didn't think anything of it. You know, I didn't put 2 and 2 together. It could be that guy or anything. So he passed. Whatever. And now, this is a 2-way street. So I'm walking on it's the way we are over there is like we walk in the street. It sounds weird, but that's the way we do it. I grew up in that neighborhood. So I'm walking down and I see the same car go up. And what's catching my attention, that this is a really old white car. Like not many people around there that I don't see have old white cars. So the same car is coming up. And I'm like, oh no, I think this guy is watching me. Now at this point, I'm probably like 200 feet away from the area I lived that cars can't go through, like you have to walk around there. So I'm walking down the street and I hear a car behind me, but it's not passing. So I turned around. It was the same white car. At this point, I didn't feel like it was looking for a house. You know what I mean? It felt like he was following me. He was going extremely slow. Excuse me. And he was probably 100 feet behind me at this point. So, you know, I'm just on high alert right now. And I'm like, let me put my keys in my hand. And I put them in my hand. And I'm like, if he tries to do something, I'm going to have to kill someone. I'm like, I'll be fighting charges. At this point, I'm like, I'm gonna have to kill someone. I'm going to jail. Even if it's self-defense, I still have to fight the case. I don't have any means for a great attorney, and hopefully they really think it's self-defense. I'm going through all the things that could happen right now. So then I'm still walking, and he just goes right past me. So I'm like, oh, thank God. Let me hurry the hell home. At least where all the buildings are where people can't pass. Guys, let me tell you. He goes past me and he stops at a house. Like, maybe 5 houses ahead of me, as if he's waiting for someone to come down. Now, I'm taking baby steps at this point, and I call my mom. And I'm like, Mom, this is where I'm at. I'm in front of this house, because this house got remodeled. So it's easy to identify it on the street. I'm like, oh my, remember that house that got remodeled? I'm like a few blocks over. That's where he's waiting, and I'm scared. And I'm telling her the story, and she's like, hold on, I'll be right there. But I gotta keep moving. Like, I can't just stand there. So I didn't want to make it too obvious. So I started walking like really, really fast, and he started trailing behind me again. And I stopped to act like I was gonna tie my shoe and to see which way he goes. Cause now there's a stop sign and he can go either right or left. You can't go straight, cause only people who could walk could go between the buildings. And I wanted to see where he was going, and I can tell he was trying to see where I was going. So I act like I had to tie my shoe, and he went to the right. So I knew I can go to the left. So I just hurried up and I went through the complex. So I didn't want to go in the outer skirts, because that's where he can be able to see me or whatever. So I go upstairs, and like my mom is not there. So I'm like, oh my God, my mom is outside with the killer. So now I have to go back out to get her. So I couldn't find her. And this is the time where she just started using her cell phone. So she did not take the cell phone out the house at that time. So because there's 2 ways, and I guess she went the way that I wouldn't bump into her. She must have went on the outer skirts, and I didn't want to go that way because that's where the cars can go. I went through the middle of all the buildings. So I'm walking and I bumped into her. And she's like, oh my God, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. Are you okay? And she's like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. So we're talking. And, you know, she's just happy that I'm okay. We're walking through the buildings. And now in front of my building, the street is right there. You can see. And I obviously have to pass it. Guys, let me tell you. I'm walking towards my building. I saw that white car just driving past again. And he's driving so freaking slow. I can tell. I feel like he's looking for me. And I'm sure I didn't know the person. Like, I know everybody in my neighborhood. Like, that was so scary. Yeah, like, that was my story. It was very frightening. Like, I'm laughing and smiling while I tell the story. Like, in the moment, like, I swore, like, I was gonna get kidnapped. Like, that was in my head. I watched ID Discovery Forensic Files, and I'm like, oh my God, did I manifest this or something? But I did come out okay. Nothing happened to me. And ever since then, I'm always on the lookout. But thanks for listening to my story time. If you want to hear more like this, let me know in the comments below, okay? Bye.